And welcome back to the PSB Summer Invitational. I'm Marcus Burnett, joined by J.L. Hemingway as we get ready to bring you this matchup, which features All Ohio Black versus Heroes Elite. Appreciate you joining us here. Hemi, we've got a great game to be able to cap the night of webcast.
Boy, Marcus, this is going to be a big one here. And speaking of big players and big games, I think we got to start by talking about. I'm sorry, I'm having a little brain issue. We're going to start here talking about Joyner Holmes, 6'3" post player out of Cedar Hill, Texas, currently ranked the #3 prospect in the nation by prospectsnation.com. She's joined by her teammate, number 10 in black, that's Jada Underwood, currently ranked number 17 in the class of 2016. All Ohio Black, Marcus, we're very familiar with them. I've had a chance to watch them several times over the past couple of weeks. Sierra Rice, number 22 in white, one of the top uncommitted 2015 guards in the nation. This is going to be a big one for sure.
Heroes Elite, they get the tip. Get it over to Underwood. That shot just off the mark there by Holmes. Offensive rebound, though, for Heroes Elite. They'll set it back up. Grace Goodhart goes inside to Holmes. Holmes, quick move along the baseline, misses the first. Doesn't take her long to get down to the ground and back up. Goodhart has that shot blocked there by number 32 for All Ohio, Valencia Myers. Myers is going to get tied up. And I believe they're going to say she stepped out of bounds.
Valencia Myers, just a 2018 prospect. She's very well within the radar of a lot of college college coaches these days. Great length. This is going to be a great early test for her going up against one of the, the better post players in the nation in Holmes. She should be able to learn quite a bit here tonight.
Still 0-0 ball game, but Heroes Elite have been able to keep the ball on their side of the floor thanks to offensive rebounds. Goodhart going to try a deep two. Count it.
Goodhart may be one of the biggest sleepers of the tournament. Grace Goodhart, from Sunnyvale, Texas. It's a kid that not a lot of people know about. She can kind of take you by surprise, but there's nothing to sleep on with her game. She can shoot it. She's crafty. She can make plays. Very productive player playing alongside of Joyner Holmes.
As Sierra Rice going to lose that out of bounds. Heroes Elite looking to catch All Ohio sleeping. Strong move inside there by Underwood.
Underwood, just such a strong, athletic wing, as you can tell. Look at those shoulders there. There's a reason why athletically we have her ranked in the top 20 in the class of 2016.
We see Joyner Holmes decide to push it, hesitates for a second, kicks it into another gear. Can't get that shot to go off the window. Rebound inside there by McIntyre.
I can remember working with Joyner Holmes out of Phoenix, Arizona, 2012, back when we used to have EBA West Camp, and a great steal there by Underwood. Holmes was big and athletic then, but what she has added these days is great footwork and strength and explosiveness to add to that athletic frame.
It's Coach JB, but they not too happy with the start of his team. I think the lack of execution so far early on, I think is secondary because it's still fairly early. He doesn't like something he sees as far as the energy of his team right now, and he's making substitutions to reflect that.
Well, sometimes you got to get their attention, right off the bat. It's first day coming back after a long layoff here in July.
Risha Scott all over Ahart. Ahart doing a good job at first.
Oh, boy.
As we've got a few Hero Elite fans in the building here.
Let me tell you something. That side ball screen that All Ohio likes to run, that's not going to work anymore because they get it over there on the side and they jump hard hedge trap that thing, and they keep it over there on the side. If I'm Coach Bethea, I'm doing something else other than that side ball screen because I don't want Joyner Holmes trapping the ball any longer.
Especially on that sideline, you've got the bleachers on that close sideline as well as that Heroes Elite fan base. They're about 20 deep, but it sounds more like 50 up there. Working hard on the offensive glass there was Deja Turner in All Ohio, but they can't get it to go. Goodhart is going to kick it over to Scott. Scott, no good on the shot. Rebound inside there by number 20. Michaela Cobb for All Ohio.
Cobb, the West Virginia commit, 2016 prospect, coming up with a big defensive rebound there. The Heroes here coming out with a lot more energy than All Ohio.
Still a 4-0 ball game. Despite the energy being advantage Heroes Elite here early on. Here's Underwood, going to get it to Holmes. Goodhart, unable to hit that shot. Underwood with the crossover. Going to have a foul there. It's going to go against Bexley Wallace of All Ohio.
Wallace had one good defensive play there on Grace Goodhart earlier, but this time she's going to get called for the foul in the lane. Underwood with that explosive drive down the free throw lane. Again, the 17th ranked prospect. There are a number of college coaches here in the building. I saw Holly Warlick earlier over here at Kell High School. University of Texas also in the building. You can understand why there are so many coaches here checking out this game this evening.
It's a 5-0 advantage for Heroes Elite, and if you're All Ohio, you have to be able to match the physicality and the energy that Heroes Elite is bringing to you right now. And it's not that you're not capable. When you look at the players in McIntyre and Valencia Myers, some of these players may not be as skilled as the Heroes Elite players, but the intensity, the energy, and the physicality, that should be something they should be able to provide right on the court.
Holmes gave, who's that, Goodrich, that number 4?
That was Hooks.
Hooks, yeah. Hooks set that screen, and Holmes just kind of gave her a little push. Get out of my way, little girl. But Holmes is a big girl for sure. And it would take nothing more than just a little bump to bump her to the ground.
Yeah. And that's why, for the sake of being redundant, that's why if you're All Ohio, you definitely have to come out and show you're not intimidated by the level of talent that Heroes Elite displays, and that's something Coach Bethea wants to see here from his squad. As we see Cobb taking it right into the defense and drawing the foul.
And that's 2 quick fouls there on Holmes. Coach Alexander can't be happy with that. But as we mentioned our previous not podcast, but live streaming with the Seattle transition, post players that are able to play straight up and down without making contact will avoid fouls more times than not. Holmes, and she does a good job of that right there. Unfortunately, All Ohio will get the bucket.
Sierra Hooks with the offensive rebound and did a great contortionist impression there, being able to score under Joyner Holmes on that particular play. So we've got a 5-3 ball game. Goodhart to Holmes. Holmes going to be fouled on that play, and Coach Bethea not happy about the call.
Holmes was going up strong. From our vantage point, it might have looked like that there was all ball. Referee giving the explanation. Coach Bethea says, all right, I understand what you're saying. I think he was probably talking about maybe more with the body. But let's talk about how that play got set up. It was by Grace Goodhart that drove, dumped it off. You can see the IQ there by Goodhart. She'll catch you off guard with her size, but she can definitely play.
Yeah, definitely out there for a reason. 2 new substitutions in for Heroes Elite. Number 24, Ashlyn Miles, and number 12, Chelsea Adams. Miscommunication there on that pass as Ahart throws it out of bounds. That was intended for Chantel Bostic, so that'd be a turnover as we've got a 6-3 ball game here with about 10 minutes left to play here in the first half. Adams with it up top, guarded by Bostic. Hooks all over that pass. Comes in, finishes on the other end. Sierra Hooks.
Boy, talk about making a name for yourself with these summer tournaments. Sierra Hooks is a name that we're going to continue to mention for years to come.
Joyner Holmes, quick take to the rack. Misses the shot, but Hooks with the rebound. She's got 3 Hero Elite defenders around, and that's going to be a foul. It's going to go against number 12, Chelsea Adams. As number 1, Avion Alexander, checks into the game for Coach Alexander's squad. A 6-5 ball game. Been impressed with the play of Sierra Hooks here early on, just being able to weather the initial storm. She had 2 back-to-back buckets for All-Ohio, misses that one, but we're seeing things created off of her aggression initially as Michaela Cobb picks up the pieces and gives All-Ohio a 7-6 lead.
And you can understand why Coach Carey and his staff there in West Virginia, the Lady Mountaineers, are excited about Michaela Cobb. But on the other end, that's number 23, Briosha Scott, getting the layup on the other end, answering the Cobb lay-in.
That gives Heroes Elite the 1-point advantage. Hook's gonna get it over to Ahart. Ahart gonna knock that jumper down.
Hooks and Ahart play very well off of one another. Point guard and shooting guard in the backcourt, just 2017 prospects. And again, making names for themselves on a court full of names. Holmes, Underwood, Sierra Rice, all sorts of kids out here uncommitted. Great opportunity for them to get on the radar of these college coaches here at the PSB Summer Invitational.
As number 0, Deja Turner, subs into the game, and Sierra Hooks gets a breather.
You know, you talk about summer ball, and you know, occasionally you'll have one of these travel coaches say, oh, it's not about winning and losing during the summer. Heck, this is an exhibition game. Holly Warlick just got out of her seat, leaned down just to see what the score is. You're telling me that it's not important, you know, what the score is? I think that it is.
Yeah, how can I evaluate a player in different settings if the score, the juncture, and the different nuances of the game are, totally irrelevant? I got to be able to see that as a context to be able to evaluate that player on. And I think this game is going to be a prime example. You got a very talented Heroes Elite team. All Ohio sputtered initially, but here we're seeing them really be able to respond to that doldrums they had to open the game. And with the counter response there, we see Heroes Elite, number 24, Ashlyn Miles with the tray ball to make it an 11-9 ball game. Turner going to get it over to Ahart. We'll see how long Sierra Rice sits for All Ohio Black. She's an integral part of this team, just for what she does, not only from a scoring standpoint, but rebounding, energy. Every category for them. And actually she'll be subbing in next dead ball.
Real interesting that Coach Buffet has gone very young with this lineup here. You know, Ahart, Hooks, and Wallace. All very young.
Ashlyn Miles, she's class of 2016, and she gets another bucket to go. She's got the last 5 points here for Heroes Elite. They now have a 4-point advantage. Ahart has it, gonna kick it out to Turner. Turner to Wallace, a little high-low action. They try to get it to Cobb. A little too tall, so ball's going to go Actually, ball's going to stay with All Ohio. Back into the game for All Ohio Black. Going to be number 22, Sierra Rice, and number 4, Sierra Hooks. Hooks looking to inbound it. She gets it over to Rice. Rice aggressive right off the bat.
Now Rice came out, and I think safe to say that she was a little bit out of rhythm in this game, not really performing up to the level that we've seen her play in previous tournaments. It's going to be important for her, especially for her team, to get some momentum, get some rhythm here.
And a ride on the pine for a couple minutes can do that to you. You know, Coach Day wasn't happy with the energy early on. We see her, she gets into the game, first play, puts it on the deck, draws a foul. A little bit of miscommunication there. Turnover. All Ohio Black the other way. Here's Rice.
Ooh.
Takes it right at Underwood. Unable to get the shot to go as Cobb's a little shaken up. Attacking the offensive glass, our Heroes Elite playing volleyball now. Can't get it to go, and we're going to have an injury timeout here as Michaela Cobb's a little shaken up. Looks like somebody might have run into her shin. Trying to get up and walk off under her own power, obviously in some pain right now. Coach Bethea going to come out and check on her. She doesn't want to be helped off, wants to walk off on her own, can appreciate the grit. So 5 minutes, 39 seconds left to play.
Hate to see that from Cobb. She was really playing well, you know, in the early part of this game.
Yeah.
You know, being productive. You know, really after having a quiet first part of July, came out here and started to make some noise. At least a positive thing of her, you know, walking off under her own power. Hopefully, like you said, it was just a little bang shin.
As we resume play, Chantel Bostic with the ball for All Ohio. They currently trail by 4. It was All Heroes Elite early on, but All Ohio since then, after a 5-for-5 substitution, or they had 4 subs. They left Sierra Hooks in the game. She was able to really help them get a 1-point advantage. Heroes Elite has answered back, but since then, we've really been able to see All Ohio respond from a team standpoint as Sierra Rice knocks down that 3-pointer.
Safe to say that the message has been delivered to Sierra Rice. She's living up to expectations now.
Off shot there by Miles. Here's Hooks. We've seen Hooks continue to grow. And that last bucket by Rice was just a 2-pointer, not a 3-pointer. So it's a 11-13 ball game. But you know, as far as number 4, Sierra Hooks, we've been able to see her grow this travel season. We've seen her grow in July up to this point, and I think we're really going to be able to see her grow during the course of this game, you know, just given the level of talent that Heroes Elite has and what's been on our shoulders here early on.
There's a lot to like about her game. You talk about physicality, talk about, you know, skill level as well, too. She's a guard that can defend multiple positions out there on the floor. I think her ceiling is very, very high. You know, I think that you can see her play the point guard position in spots, defend the point guard, and even be able to be a lead scorer, which, you know, there's not a lot of kids out there that you can say that about. You know, can you be a lead handler and a lead scorer at times? We haven't seen the full potential, you know, as of yet.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to Hooks, you know, we haven't seen her have the Sierra Rice-like outbursts where she's putting it on the deck one possession, hitting the open 3 the next possession. But you definitely start to see the, you know, the outline of what could be for her in the future.
Most definitely. I mean, a different path, different player, different skill set, but, you know, it's just similar to Sierra Rice and the development we've seen her do. We having some of the same things that you mentioned Rice is doing. We didn't necessarily see those last year, but a big part of that was Kelsey Mitchell, the different pieces that she played with. But it's nice to be able to see the development each year, and I think Hooks is going to give us some nice spectacles as the year go on as far as her development.
That's right. That's right. And it's going to be exciting, you know, too, because, you know, Coach Bethea has gone youth movement this year. So, you know, Hooks is going to have, you know, a solid 2 years in a row to be able to play as, you know, kind of that feature guard spot in the back, you know, in the backcourt, as opposed to Rice having to play, you know, behind Kelsey and, you know, Michael Johnson and some of those kids.
That bucket inside by Caleb McIntyre makes it a 15-14 ball game in favor of All Ohio.
McIntyre had a monster real deal in the Ville session 1. All sorts of college coaches asking me, hey, what is the deal with this kid? You know, does she score like this all of the time? And I said, well, I haven't seen it consistently, but heck, if this is, you know, a pattern from things to come, I think I'd be making that phone call. Big, mobile, agile post player, as you can see, can score around the rim, can even seal and post up, you know, down in the lane too.
As Sierra Rice gets called for the travel, and it's a 15-15 ball game. Given our scoreboard set up, I have to watch those angles to make sure I keep that score correct. But given the talent that we have on the floor, easy to see where a point or two might go, making sure we focus on what we have going on here. It's been a great matchup thus far. Hooks, that pass intended for Bostic, knocked out of bounds by Miles. The Sierra to Sierra connection has been a productive one so far here in the first half for Coach Bethea's All Ohio Black team. Sierra Hooks, number 4, handling the point guard duties. Sierra Rice, number 22. 14-14 ball game. 2 minutes, 54 seconds and counting left to play here in the first half. Rice over to Bostic. Bostic gonna put it on the deck, steps through. Can't get the shot to go. Comes Heroes Elite the other way. Brantley to Alexander. Cunningham, that pass intended for Chelsea Adams. It's out of bounds, ball back over to All Ohio. Rice guarded by Alexander.
Alexander, just a 2017 prospect, and she's getting a lesson right here from Sierra Rice. I like Alexander's skill set, but boy, she's got a couple of years of maturation before she can match Sierra Rice toe-to-toe.
Rice recognizing that and going to the rack accordingly, making it a 16-14 ball game. Deep three-pointer, too strong there by Adams. Here comes Turner the other way. Rice.
Good pass.
Nice pass to Bostic. Bostic.
And a nice finish.
Took a little longer than she wanted to, but still able to finish it and make it a 4-point advantage.
Excuse me. Bostic is given quality minutes right here for Coach J.B. Bethea. Been a kid that up in Franklin, Tennessee, didn't see just a large number of minutes. You know, playing behind, you know, Hooks and Rice and some of those others. And J.B. Bethea coming in, you know, kind of has his finger on the pulse of what the team needs, and Bostic stepping right in and fulfilling some good minutes here today.
Most definitely, as we have an 18-14 ball game, 1:16 left to play here in the first half, and an interesting dynamic here is that, you know, the foul trouble that number 32 Joyner Holmes has been in You know, here she's only played about 4 to 5 minutes, I believe, you know, here in the first half. She's ready to check in here. Jada Underwood has also had a quiet first half as well. So it'll be interesting to see how both Heroes Elite and All Ohio Black respond to both of those players coming back into the game.
Holmes is one of those kids that you've got to keep an eye on with her fouls because she is so active and athletic. She's going to attract a lot of attention, especially from the referees, because she's going to want to get in there and mix it up so much. So once she picks up that, you know, second and third foul, you know, you're going to have to, you know, maybe send her to the bench.
She's unsuccessful on 2 attempts there. Continues to attack the glass. Bosick going to come the other way. She gets a little twisted up. They go down to the deck to get it. Good hustle on behalf of both teams there, and this is some of what we did not see from All Ohio in those opening 2 minutes, and we're seeing it now, and it's really been able to make a big difference, even though we've got plenty of game left. Sierra hooks, gets it to Rice. Rice with the step back jumper on the elbow, all net, but not the way you want it to be. That shot just short, saved right to Jada Underwood.
I like the footwork, and I like the creativity there by Rice. That's definitely a part of her game that we haven't seen before in the past. But coming right back the other direction, she helps on the screen and then goes right up to hedge the ball screen. That's her bread and butter.
McIntyre had the rebound initially, but now it's in the hands of Joyner Holmes, who does the rest. Holmes layup makes it an 18-16 ball game.
Marcus, I wrote down in my notes right now on Joyner Holmes. She reminds me as she screams really loud.
Screams loud, pass came late, she still went up and snatched it.
She reminds me a little bit. It's not a true comparison to Bashara Graves, the University of Tennessee power forward, and the fact that she's an active, athletic power forward in that way. But Holmes is a superior athlete and even has more size than Graves. You know, moves much more up and down. Now Graves, at this stage in her career, was a little bit more polished with her back to the basket, being able to score more consistently than Holmes. If there's an area that judging on our limited eval, you know, here just after this one half, you would like to be able to see Holmes score, you know, maybe a little bit more, you know, consistently around the hoop. But definitely a kid that can get up and down, is going to be a force on the defensive end as well, too.
So that's going to do it for the first half. We appreciate you joining us here. The score is 18-18. Great first half, and be sure to stick with us for the second. ready to get the second half of this one started from the PSB Summer Invitational. Marcus Burnett joined by J.L. Hemingway. 18-18 ball game here between Heroes Elite and All Ohio. Hemi, for those that might just be joining us, give us your best nutshell summary of the first half.
Marcus, I think that you really hit it on the head in your analysis. Heroes came out with a lot of energy to begin the first half. Really kind of knocked All Ohio back on their heels. Coach J.B. Bethay, and a nice left-handed floater there by Grant, 5'5" guard out of Dallas, Texas. He went to the bench. He found some young players that brought some energy, really changed the momentum in his favor. The Heroes got into some foul trouble. Underwood and Holmes both went to the bench. And from there, it's been pretty even.
Yeah. 20-18 advantage here as Heroes Elite strikes first here in the second half. Goodhart with the crossover, gonna kick it out. Southpaw three-pointer on the way. Off the mark there for Grant.
I think when you look at game keys heading into the second half, All Ohio, I think, has to exploit their guard play. Sierra Hooks, Sierra Rice. It's going to be the Sierra show if they want to win.
Yeah.
Hooks has definitely shown her ability to be a game changer in this game. And then what they have to do on the inside is just hold their own versus Holmes. Make sure that she doesn't dominate the offensive glass. Make sure that they get some second chance buckets from here to there. But I think if they're going to win, they've got to find ways to exploit their advantage on the perimeter. Conversely, for the Heroes, you've got to find ways to get the ball to Holmes in scoring position. And you also got to get Underwood involved in this game.
Yeah.
She's a talent, strong driver, slasher, downhill. You got to put her in positions so that she can create plays for you.
Hooks no good on the second free throw. Both teams going to the deck to get it. Underwood muscles the rebound away, or the loose ball away, I should say. Gets it to Holmes, back to Underwood. She's guarded by McIntyre. Pass a little bit too tall there for Scott. McIntyre.
Nice. She's earned herself some money this July. Just second effort points, finishing around the rim. Great look from McIntyre. The previous possession for the Heroes, those are the possessions that you can't have. Throwing the ball away carelessly, that pass was not on point. Really out of rhythm.
Myers ahead to Hooks. Hooks can't get the shot to go. We're going to have a foul there. Nautica Grant, number 0, fouls number 0 for All Ohio. Deja Turner sends her to the free throw line.
Deja Turner, lefty shooter, already committed to Wright State University. Really a specialist, but she's a kid that can do more than just shoot. She brings energy, can defend, secondary ball handler in spots. Going to be a solid college ball player at the next level.
She makes it a 20-20 ball game with the first free throw. Puts All Ohio back up by 1. There with the second. Scott kicks it out to Grant. Grant with the floater.
That's the second floater of the half for her.
Gets the giant killer to go there. Back up by 1, Heroes Elite. Here's Goodhart. Goodhart with the spin move. Foul going to go against Rice there. Goodhart nearly still found a way to hit that shot. She's going to go to the free throw line, see if she can get both that way.
She's a sneaky playmaker. You know, typically you think of playmakers playing the point guard position. but Grace is one of those kids that can play on the wing, set you up with some footwork, some jabs. Struggled a little bit tonight here with her jumper, but you can tell that stroke is tight.
Chantel Bostic checks back into the game for All Ohio. So it's a 23-22 ball game. 1-point advantage for Heroes Elite. Bostic gonna kick it over to McIntyre. McIntyre had that shot blocked by Underwood. They're gonna say last touch there by the Heroes, so it'll stick with All Ohio. Sierra Hooks to inbound. This is to Myers. Myers to Bostic. Myers wants it back. She's guarded by Joyner Holmes. Gets Holmes in the air. And Holmes takes it away from there. Talk about spring in the step. Holmes has that pass stolen by Hooks. Hooks drops it off to Turner. Turner finishes.
Good job by All Ohio right here, turning a turnover into points in transition.
2 All Ohio black players converge there along the baseline for the block. Hooks and Myers. But it's retained there by Heroes Elite. Scott has it. Off shot there by Grant. You put getting Jada Underwood more involved on the Heroes to-do list. So far, that box has been unchecked, Hemi. Meanwhile, you've got Kayla McIntyre scoring on the other end to make it a 26-23 ball game in favor of All Ohio.
And look what's happening here. The Heroes turning the ball over. Some of that you can credit to All Ohio and their active hands. Some of it just being careless with it. All Ohio making this a transition game and turning this into their favor.
Goodhart, D'd up by Bostic. Bostic takes the cookies, goes to the other end, and finishes. And one. No, not an and one. That whistle was for the timeout.
Boy, it's so interesting to see the difference. The difference from halves. You know, at one point in the first half, it was All Ohio that seemed dead and just lifeless and without momentum. And now, you know, we're about 5 minutes into the second half here, and All Ohio's bouncing up and down. They're feeling real good, high-fiving one another. The Heroes kind of sauntering back, you know, to the huddle, you know, kind of down, obviously not feeling very good about themselves when, heck, we remember that defensive possession where they trapped the sideline over there, and, you know, all of those Heroes fans were just, you know, excited and just so fired up.
That was a great point, Hemi.
Hey, I just wanted to say hey to everybody on the broadcast, man. I really didn't have anything to contribute. You guys are doing a heck of a job, man. Back to business.
You got to know who that man was. If you don't, that was Brandon Clay, Peach State basketball owner, stopping by here. He's talking with the bevy of college coaches that we have here for the PSB Summer Invitation.
You just got to love Brandon Clay. He's the one that puts all of this together, spends countless hours on the phone, talking to these travel coaches and colleges, make sure that everybody is in the building. So I guess we can put up with a little bit of nonsense like that from time to time. Speaking of nonsense, Coach J.B. Bethea doesn't like that nonsense of throwing the basketball away.
Didn't like it at all.
Oh, good pivot right there by Myers.
As you can just see kind of that last play with Coach Bethea where he had the ball, you can kind of see the Heroes Elite player waiting to inbound it, but kind of looking like, I'm not going to go over there and ask for it. So I'm just going to wait until he sends it back over here. Checking back into the game for Heroes Elite number 5, Tamia Cunningham. Still a 28-23 ball game in favor of All Ohio. Traveling violation going to be called there against Myers. As Hooks got her leg a little tied up there. She's good, she's up. Everybody's using some teamwork to make sure we get the wet spot up. Coach Bethaye's even throwing a flip-flop off. He's going straight sock on the wet spot. As Heroes Elite will bring it in, 28-23. Just over 10 minutes left to play here in the ball game. Cunningham loses the ball there. Hooks gets it ahead to Bostic. Bostic sidesteps, takes the contact. Can't get the shot to go, but she'll be able to shoot two.
Amazing. You look at the two benches right now. All Ohio, so excited. Smiles on their faces. Sierra Rice, even though she's on the bench, she's engaged. She was up cheering for her teammates right now. Everybody just feeling really good about themselves, you know, about this team effort. Heroes, on the other hand, just kind of looked frazzled, disjointed. They're not really sure what's going on right now. Like we talked about in our previous broadcast, Marcus, you know, the game of basketball is so much about momentum. You got to find ways to master it when you can.
As it's a 29-23 ball game. After that Bostic free throw. Joyner Holmes on the bench for Heroes Elite. And stepping out of bounds there is Avion Alexander. Ball back over to All Ohio. Holmes is on the bench. We're still not seeing the Jada Underwood that we expected to have a certain impact on the game up to this point, but we still got plenty of time left. But for right now, 6-point advantage for All Ohio. Good ball movement. Wallace just short on that jumper. Off on the shot is Alexander. Bostic goes behind the back. Going to get called for the charge there.
Coach Bethaye, no argument there. He saw what was happening. Bostic's played so well, though, in this game. One of the few mistakes that she's made.
And kudos to Coonigan. She was able to see how Bostic has really used that sidestep each time she's went to the lane. She was there programmed and ready for it, and she took the charge there. But we see Hooks getting in the passing lane again and getting the finish. Sierra Hooks.
Hey, Marcus, this Sierra Hooks kid is kind of good.
No kidding, Hemi. She gets better each time we see her. Underwood kicks it to Alexander. That shot off the mark there by Miles. Second opportunity coming for Heroes Elite. That one won't stay down, and we got McIntyre with the rebound. Nice back tap there by Jada Underwood. Underwood frustrated with the official. As they run into each other, nothing you could do about that. He was trying to get to the position he needed to get to, so was she. Unfortunately for Heroes Elite, it'll be out of bounds, back over to All Ohio.
Kind of sums up the half right now for the Heroes. Even when something good happens, something bad ends up as a result.
They now trail by 8. 31-23 advantage All Ohio with 7 minutes, 46 seconds and counting left to play here in the second half. Rice over to Bostic. Joyner Holmes, number 32, back in the game and guarding the ball. Bostic, nice pass inside to McIntyre, who can't hold on, tries to save it to Wallace, but Alexander's going to take it away. Good effort there by Ahart, but it's just not enough as we see Holmes just overpowered there on that particular play to get the deuce.
I'm not sure that there's anybody in the gym right now that could have prevented her from getting from where she wanted to go. That was a grown woman move right there.
That combination of quickness and strength, definitely tough to guard.
Yeah, explosiveness. She's always had, fairly good ball skill, even at her height and size. That's going to translate well to the college level.
Her three-point play makes it a 26-31 ball game, but not for long as McIntyre gets the deuce.
Great passing right there. They draw the double team, kick it back, diagonal pass, layup, almost textbook.
7-point advantage for All Ohio.
You ever wondered what people are going to say in the future? Because, you know, textbooks are going out of style, you know, Marcus. You know, these kids, they don't live off, or, you know, learn off of textbooks anymore. It's more off of iPads and downloads and stuff, so.
I think they'll say either ebook or tutorial.
Ah, tutorial-like, right?
No doubt. We see Underwood trying to be more aggressive. Foul going to go against Ahart there.
You gotta like the attack there, even with the left hand. It's a question mark for some. You know, can she go left? Definitely showing here today that she can. I'm sure she would like to be able to finish a little bit better than what she's been able to do so far.
They get it over to Goodhart. Nice close out there by Ahart. Stepping out of bounds there. Brantley, Hemi, you talked about that point in the game earlier in the first half where Heroes had the ball handler at the time, I believe it was Ahart, trapped along that sideline. The Heroes elite crowd was amped, and it was just, you know, just great defense. Here we see on the opposite sideline, we see All Ohio doing that very same thing and forcing Brantley to step out of bounds there. Just another telltale sign of the transition that we've seen from first half to second half.
Yeah, great observation, and it's not like things have changed all that much. It's the same day, the same night, the same players. All that's different, I think, is just a mindset sometimes. I think that's why sports psychologists get paid so much money at times, just to be able to change your mindset from moment to moment. And that's what the Heroes have got to figure out. They've got to figure out a way to change this mindset and to be able to execute consistently.
You see Jada Underwood with the bucket there, making it 33-28. Glad to see a healthy Michaela Cobb back into the game for All Ohio.
Oh, goodness.
Great recovery there by Joyner Holmes, as All Ohio Black's bench was already in stand-up celebration mode when they saw that what looked like a wide open layup, and Joyner Holmes comes in and labels it a no-flex zone.
Two very high-level plays right there. Bexley Wallace makes a reverse pivot, has the vision enough to be able to see the cutting teammate on the backside, and then Holmes recovers very quickly, knocks that thing out of bounds.
Wallace with it, gets it over to Rice. Rice to Cobb. That'll send Sierra Rice to the free throw line. Cans the first.
It's interesting to see which players step up, you know, at different times. Lately, it's been Underwood for the Heroes. Rice got off to a slow start. She's had a big, big second half and such. Bexley Wallace, for the most part, has been quiet in this game. She had a big real deal in the Ville up in Franklin, Tennessee. Like to see her be able to step up and try to make some plays against Holmes, but Holmes right now just really separating herself as the best player on the court.
She hangs in the air, knocks down that tough jump shot, going to get called for the blocking foul here. But her shot makes it a 30-35 ball game here with 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to play. Number 4, Sierra Hooks, checks back into the game for All Ohio. Coach Bethea was able to get her a couple well-deserved minutes and some rest that will be needed as they get ready to try to close this game out. Turner lets that pass sail out of bounds. She had Rice right behind her.
Danger zone right here for all Ohio. They've made a couple of mistakes. Start to see the frustration, maybe pressing a little bit. Heroes have made a couple of plays. Now they're starting to feel pretty good. Got to watch body language. You got to watch, you know, those intangible things.
And now you're seeing an Underwood and a Holmes that are in attack mode, and it helps set up Grace Goodhart for a three-pointer.
Right on cue. Underwood is the one that makes that play. The shooter, Grace, has been quiet for most of the game, and she finds space on the perimeter.
She's going to have a jump ball call. It'll stay with all Ohio. But again, we're really seeing Heroes Elite make sure they do a good job of having Holmes and Underwood be aggressive, something that we haven't seen both of them be aggressive up until the last few minutes. And then surprise, surprise, it's making a difference on the score of this game at this point.
Without a doubt. You got to give them credit for bouncing back here as well, too. Ooh, McIntyre with the great body control around Holmes.
McIntyre's bucket pushes the lead back to 4 points, but we got Holmes coming right back.
To quote Charles Barkley, I think all you can say is barbecue chicken. I mean, she catches it, faces up, and just,
no,
I'm going to work.
Now, was it Shaq or is it Charles?
Oh, Shaq. I'm sorry, it was Shaquille O'Neal.
But still, great reference. You know, who could forget barbecue chicken?
Barbecue. Goodness gracious. She caught it, kind of bounced, and said, "You're not doing anything with me right now."
Big bucket there. Three-point play the hard way. 36-37 ball game. 1 point advantage for all Ohio with 3 minutes, 22 seconds and counting left to play here in this game. Deja Turner picks up the pieces and gets a clutch bucket there.
Great hustle play right there. The Heroes got the deflection, but it was Turner that made the play.
That puts all Ohio up by 4. Underwood gonna stroke the three-pointer, brings them to within, ties the game actually.
That was a two-pointer.
Okay, 2. They ruled that one a 2. So 39-38. Now we have a turnover force. Ball back over to Heroes Elite.
39-38, under 3 minutes to go. Got to give a lot of credit to the Heroes right here for bouncing back, being mentally strong.
That shot off the mark, but they hustle to get another opportunity.
Oh, goodness.
Holmes against Sierra Rice.
I find it very, very interesting here that you put Sierra Rice on Joyner Holmes. And quite honestly, I like it. Even though it's not the obvious matchup that you would think. Rice has the footwork to be able to match Holmes step for step, which most of your other post players would not. You know, whether it be Valencia Myers, you know, McIntosh, or, you know, certainly not Wallace either. But if there is a mismatch, it's the fact that Holmes can score over the top of Rice.
And from a strength standpoint, even on that play, we didn't see Rice get just backed under the rim for an easy layup.
No.
You know, that was you know, Holmes ended up taking a shot where she was essentially falling away. So, you know, Rice in there battling, doing exactly the type of things that she does for this All-Ohio team. 39, 38, but Holmes in the passing lanes. It's going to be a layup drill at the other end. 40-39 ball game, 1 point advantage. They got another turnover. This time Holmes going to kick it out to Goodhart. Goodhart with the floater. She's short. Nice pass ahead by McIntyre to Rice. Rice nearly threw it away, being too unselfish, but Bostic has her back, gets the assist. Rice with the finish. 41-40 ball game in favor of All Ohio. We've got a great one brewing here with 2 minutes left to play.
Well, just a great play, or collection of great plays, great players on both ends right here. So glad to see that both teams, individuals bounce back. You know, there was early frustration on both sides. Very easily, either team could have folded and basically just closed up shop and say, oh, you know what, it's an exhibition game, who cares? Let's go to the hotel. Let's just get on out of here. But instead, what happens, they come out, they compete, they fight through the adversity, and we've got ourselves a great game, and this is exactly what you would like to see, whether you're a college coach, if you're a fan, a parent, or even on the SUVtv. This makes for great YouTube right here, Marcus.
Man, this has been an awesome game, and you know, it's the Summer Invitational. It's a game that features all Ohio, so we've kind of grown to expect the type of finish that looks like we're lined up here. I look back to the All Ohio Black versus Team Phoenix game. That was a classic. You know, Paris Key, Kelsey Mitchell at last year's Summer Invitational, and here with Heroes Elite, their loaded squad. You know, Joyner Holmes, Jada Underwood going up against All Ohio. We've got another great classic in the making as we're under the 2-minute mark. 1 point advantage for All Ohio. Jada Underwood has it for Heroes Elite.
And again, it's Rice, Gardner, Holmes. Gardner step for step. Interesting matchup here. You got McIntyre on Underwood, so you take the guard and put her on the post. And the post on the guard. But it's Holmes that's going to gain the advantage there with a nice lob pass.
Whoa, going back the other way, going to be stripped. Jada Underwood going to strip it away. So we've got 1 minute, 28 seconds left to play in the ball game. 1 point advantage for Heroes Elite. Hooks looking to inbound it. Sit to McIntyre. McIntyre, risky pass there. Your Coach Bethea, you want somebody to go get that.
Oh.
Rice in traffic. Coach Bethea wanted a foul. Coach Alexander going to get a timeout for Heroes Elite. Coach Bethea not happy about the call, or the non-call, I should say.
Interesting moment right here in the game. Got 1:06 left. You got a 1 point lead. I think it's unreasonable to think that you're going to be able to hold the ball here for the entire time. Yeah. All Ohio more than likely is going to come and try to foul here and try to extend this game. So what you're talking about now is you don't want, if you're the Dallas Heroes and Coach Alexander, you don't want any quick shots.
Yeah.
You know, the last thing you want is, you know, a one pass and three and give them a chance to, you know, get back into this game. You want to pass it around, maybe run your offense. If you get a wide open layup, you take nothing but a wide open layup. But instead, you're probably looking to run about 30 seconds off. And then at that point, All Ohio is going to come and foul you. But you're going to have to be strong with the ball. Remember that the Dallas Heroes had some trouble. They struggle with, you know, handling the ball and making good decisions early on. So it'll be interesting to see what they do right here.
As Holmes has taken over the past few minutes. Here we're going to have a drive and a finish. Briosha Scott.
Well, so much for that pass it around and, you know, waste 30 seconds off. We can just drive it right down the middle and get a layup, too.
Here comes Hooks right back at him. She misses. Blocked by Goodhart from behind on Sierra Rice.
What a big block there by Goodhart.
38 seconds left to play here in the ball game. 3 point advantage for Heroes Elite. Foul committed by Chantel Bostic. The ball will be out of bounds here on the sideline. The second foul will make it a penalty free throw shooting situation.
Uh-oh.
That's a very...
Uh-oh. And the result is the same.
I think that might have been the case of the ball not lying, Hemi, because that was a very long 5 seconds there. The 5-second violation wasn't called, but it's thrown out of bounds by Heroes Elite. So it'll be All Ohio's ball with 34 seconds left to play in the game. A 3-point advantage for Heroes Elite.
Look at the fans up top. Everybody in here getting a look at this game.
Coach Bethea is going to get a timeout.
Good timeout right there. 27 seconds left, and I tell you, I like the fact that you advance the ball into the front court before you call timeout. You know, because too many times I see coaches call timeout, you know, away from the bucket, and then that gives the opposing defense a chance to set up a press, you know, maybe some sort of junk defense or whatever you're drawing up, you know, to get your shooter a shot. They're going to be able to take away real easily. So I like the fact that you bring it into the front court, go ahead, inbound on the side, and then that way you can draw up a sideline out of bounds or maybe some sort of screen-to-screener action to be able to get a three-point bucket or even a, heck, like you saw off of, you know, the Heroes Elite, their sideline out of bounds where they were able to just drive it right down the middle like the Red Sea parting. Maybe you can get a quick 2-for-1, maybe get a foul right here. Lots of options here by getting this timeout.
Your hunch on what you think Coach Bethea is going to do here. Go for the quick 2 and then foul. You know, try to set up and get a good look at the 3, or just kind of play it by ear and be able to take what's given.
I think that you put the ball in Sierra Rice's hands, let her drive, maybe kick the Turner if it's there. But I'm definitely getting the first easy shot that I can. Tough pass there.
Put a lot of trust in Bostic there on that play, did Rice. Bostic comes away with it. Now here's Sierra Hooks, gets it to McIntyre. Turner with a 3-point shot, knocks it down.
Whoa.
44-44 ball game. Exactly 10 seconds left on the clock. Coach Alexander is going to get a timeout. 8 seconds left to play in this ball game. 44-44. Huge shot knocked down by Deja Turner.
Deja Turner doing what she does best. It was a nice inside-out 3. They had the ball with Hooks at the top. They entered it to McIntyre. McIntyre kicks it out. It was the feed and the relocate. Turner was able to get her feet set, and a big 3 right there. It had been kind of a quiet game for Turner up until that point. But now the Heroes, now the Heroes are going to have their chance to win this game with 8 seconds.
Most definitely, him. You said it had been a quiet game for Turner up to this point. Now Turner has made the Heroes Elite fan base fairly quiet here at Kell High School, as it's just been a back and forth game, really by 2 strong programs. You know, it's all Ohio. They've been a regular fixture here on Prospects Nation TV.
And again, I like the fact that Coach Alexander brings the ball into the front court here. Now they're actually going to get a baseline out of bounds because that ball was inside the circle when he called the timeout. So it's actually even a little bit more of an advantage.
They get it to Holmes. Holmes off the glass, no good. Hooks with the rebound. Ball still loose, and we're going to have some extra basketball here. As Holmes a little shaken up on the play. Coach Alexander comes out to make sure she's good.
Yes, one extra timeout each.
The way she's walking looked like that right foot might have come down on somebody's shoe or ankle, but she's walking off under her own power. So this is overtime. For those of you asking how many minutes overtime is, the answer to that question, Hemi:
0.
It is a sudden death overtime. The first team that scores wins the ball game. So
any score.
Free throw.
Yeah, free throw, layup, 3-pointer. The first time the ball goes through the bucket, that's going to be your ball game. I really like the look that they got there with Holmes on that. Popped her out to the top of the key. And that's where she had the most success, being able to kind of go left and right and then be able to shoot over the top of the defense. Just sit and fall right there for her. But I think that if you're a wagering man right here, I think that you wager on the Heroes, because Holmes, pretty good leaper, you probably bet that she's going to get the tip. And teams that get the tip usually have more chance of winning sudden death, but hey, a lot of things can happen here.
Interesting thing would be where Holmes is going to tip it to. She'll tip it right back to Scott. Sudden death overtime here. Scott gets it to Holmes. Holmes guarded by McIntyre.
Good defense, not giving up any ground.
Great defense by McIntyre. She's going to get the rebound, going to get it to Bostic. Bostic ahead to Hooks. Hooks to Turner, and Turner can't get that shot to go.
Oh, no.
Last touch by Turner. I'm sorry, last touch by Hooks, I believe. Either way, it was last touch by All Ohio. It was going to be Heroes Elite Ball. Coach Bethea, beside himself, wanted a foul.
Man, he wanted that. He wanted that foul badly. Don't blame him.
And Coach realizes how hard it is to be able to stop this Heroes team here in this particular setting. McIntyre did a great job last possession of doing that. Let's see if All Ohio can hold this possession. Good heart.
And you know what?
They're going to say that shot was blocked.
Well, they let the foul go on one end. They're not going to blow the foul there on the Dwayne Wade jump into your three-pointer there either.
These officials have been consistent. Holmes tries to get it to Underwood. Underwood working inside, and that's going to do it. Jada Underwood, relatively quiet game for the high bar she set, but she gets a very important bucket, the bucket to win the game. Heroes Elite with a sudden death overtime victory over All Ohio. Coach Bethea not happy about that, but that is going to do it. Great game between these two teams, two solid programs loaded with prospects. I'm Marcus Burnett, he's J.L. Hemingway, and that's going to do it here from this Prospects Nation TV webcast.